We shot the chlorine regulators and the pre-chlorination system. We continue to have flow issues with the pre-chlorination system, and we're looking into rerouting the whole piping on that so that we can eliminate that recurring issue. We had a ball valve basically explode in the pipe a year and a half ago, and so we keep finding small chunks of PVC in the pipe itself, and so it's clogging up the regulator that feeds the chlorine gas to the system. So we basically tear it apart and looked into it about every couple months, and think we have it cleaned and fixed, and it just keeps recurring. So we're looking at rerouting the whole piping so that hopefully we tear out all the junk piping that has stuff caught in it. And then we also cleaned out the flow indicating trough at the sewer plant. And that's about it that I have on the report. And then I have the water loss report for the month of October. I think you all should have a copy of that. And basically we pumped a little over 3 million gallons last month. Sold a little over 2 million to residents, 800,000 to commercial, about 250,000 to government, and about 70,000 to churches. So our water loss report, we have about 1% total loss, and that could have been a small leak under Main Street, or it could be small leaks here and there in town. Realistically, anything under 5 is pretty good for most towns, cities in the state. So all indications we're doing all right. And that's it that I have.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, new business. We'll go ahead and first cover the holdover of the consent agenda. We had the Planning Commission approved building permits for the following. There was the location of Zach Covert, 823 2nd Street, repair the front porch and enclose a portion of it. That's up for discussion and approval, or is it?
It's already done.
So that's the issue, is that the work is already completed, and I know for a fact that all applicants are told at the planning commission meeting that nothing is approved until it goes through council. Now, from my time on the planning commission, from the attorney, we were told you do not police anything as a board member, whether it's city council or planning commission or any other board for that matter. However, if you see work being done that there is not an approved permit, you are to contact the mayor, and the mayor will then call the sheriff's department and have them go issue a stop work order. Is that correct?
Cease and desist until they get their permit. With a permit, you run the risk of, and it never happens, but it could happen. You run the risk of having to tear it all down and start again.
And now he came in and he was given a permit. Are you talking about
The
May
last one.
23rd?
But he was given
Sunday?
his application for a permit.
Right, and then planning commission told him he could go ahead, but we have.
But the planning commission will tell them they can go ahead for approval of council. And it has to wait until it's through council for them to have to go ahead. And yeah, the planning commission's been pretty good about
So we
making
just
sure they
need to
understand.
remind people that to not start construction until they have their permit in hand.
Okay, he was in there was a rush, and they said
It-
because he didn't
It's,
increase anything or anything, he was just propping it back up, because it was falling down and it kept his front door from opening.
it always is a rush. Always.
Okay, I'm just giving you the backstory.
No, I hear you, but it's always a rush.
So we had called everybody and.
But I would just, if this was a problem and he built it, then we would have to be having a discussion about removal.
Okay.
But this was a permitted build, but you should wait till you have your permit in hand. So I would caution people to do that.
And with that being said, I move to approve the building permit for 823 2nd Street.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Donna.
Yes.
Gaston? Yes. page.
Yes. Okay, number 6, discuss, approve, disapprove the purchase of Hawk Pocket Kilometer. I think that's how you said, okay, and testing products for the water department. Do you have any specifics that you'd like to add to that, Dennis, at all?
No, it's basically just a small chlorine meter, like you said, it's a polarometer.
And it's to replace what we had.
Yeah, we've got aging equipment that needs replaced, basically.
And I believe we had this listed as one of the items on budget when you guys had
believe so,
presented
yes.
that, correct?
Yes.
I thought so too. In the range of what we had expected it to be also.
Yeah, I believe so.
Any questions?
Have you found that the chlorine is deteriorating any of the components of the plant?
No.
No?
When Hawk, the tech was out last time, he calibrated, actually 2 times ago, he calibrated it and said, you're right on the edge, and then the last time he was out, he said, you're basically out of specs for that. You need to basically get a new one. And so for us to,
Yes.
anything regs, we probably should.
Towards the back.
It is.
It's towards the back, yeah.
So it's listed as having 3 line items. There's the speed check secondary gel standards, there's the pocket kilometer itself, then DR 300, and then the DPD free chlorine region powder pillows. The gel standard sets the $291, the pocket kilometer itself is $711, and the powder pillows are $254 for a grand total of $1,256 even.
I'll make a motion that we accept. To accept buying the purchase of.
I'll second the motion.
Sure. Okay, roll call.
Page? Yes. Gessler? Dean?
Yes.
Thank you. Number 7, discuss, approve, disapprove. Excuse me, I think I repeated that. Discuss, approve, disapprove. Placing veteran parking signs at the corner bar in Herons. Barb Moody cannot join us, so Jess Espinoza will be presenting.
All right. Well, happy Veterans Day to everybody and all that have served. Thank you very much. So I've been working with Stacy Moody Gilbert, which is Barb's niece, and so we've kind of been working together. And so these are the signs that we're wanting to do, or that they are wanting to do. It is a veteran preferred parking. It is not, you have to have a permit like a handicapped parking. It's just saying we prefer a veteran to park here, but it's still open to the public. So anyways, Barb wrote this up. I was hoping it was just gonna be me and Lola, because I always get a little nervous when I start talking about it. So anyways, Barb started this off. Happy Veterans Day, and how appropriate to for this topic to be on today's agenda. I became involved with these veteran priorities parking signs through my niece, Stacy Moody Gilbert, who is the Northwest Region Vice President of the Brotherhood of Maintenance of Way Division for the Burlington Northern Railroad. As BN past and present employees are so prevalent in Crawford, I agreed to help Stacy with this project, which is kind of the same reason that I did. To give a little background on the group, the sign project, I asked Stacy for some information to share with you, and this is what she sent. Barb didn't include this, but a little information on Stacy. She was born and raised here. She's worked with the railroad her entire working career. She's been a welder. Always had big, huge, long, blingy nails, and was out welding all the time with them. Only melted them one time. She's about ready to retire. She gets to retire next August. But Stacy has kind of paved the way for women in the workforce, and mainly in the men workforce. Being a welder, she worked her way up through the system in the railroad, and then became a local union chairwoman. And just recently, in the last few years, was the very first female voted as the vice president Let's see. I thought she had it in here. She's the vice president of the national chair. So it's like the entire union workforce. So she was the first female voted in to be the vice of that. So in 2022, the National Division Convention, which was in Vegas, she was approached by two rank and file members concerning their military members. Stacy has also been in the military. She served in the Navy. In the past, the Brotherhood Maintenance Away Division has not really recognized the union members that have served or are serving in the military. The question posed to her was, now we have an officer in the national level that served in the military. Can we do anything to support our military members and possibly even their families? In the fall of 22, a few of their rank and file members, as well as other leaders from the National Division, got together and formed the BMWED, Armed Forces Council. They created a mission statement and got to work researching resources that can help with military members and their families. They created a web page, www.bmwe.org/AFC, where resources can be found, conduct Zoom calls and organizations for such things as the VFW, American Legion Veteran Service Officers, etc. These calls allow members to gain valuable information to file claims, find out what these organizations can do for their members. They have worked with the communications department to do a military member highlight, which is posted on that webpage. Beginning in 23, they started distributing parking signs to be placed in towns and cities that allow a parking spot specifically for our military members. They have also begun sending appreciation packets to the military veterans on Veterans Day. In September, they had the honor of sending 4 military members to the Arlington National Cemetery, which Stacy was part of, to participate in the wreath-laying ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. This was an incredible honor, and they plan to continue that event each year. They have posted information concerning railroad retirement benefits and military service on the webpage to assist the members that have questions about active service and retirement. The webpage is also evolving, and they're always open to adding more resources. They always seek to help the outside organizations to assist their military members and their families with events such as Wreaths Across America, hunting excursions for the military members, cookouts, and much more. If there are any other organizations that are willing to work with their military members and their families, please let them know. Lastly, this is the benefit to the local veterans to have a veteran priority sign when they are visiting a business in Crawford. Also, with the American Freedom Tribute Wall coming to Crawford over Patriots Day in 2026, the placement of these signs would solidify the commitment of the people to those that have served to protect them. So that's kind of Barb's thing. I have done kind of visited with April a little bit when she first became mayor. I have actually collected a few more people that want to. Of course, the Corner Bar in Heron Brothers is one. This is my sign for the Clipper. April had kind of talked about maybe the city getting some to place around town, like one in front of the post office and some other various places. I'm also working with Donita out at the fort to get a few out there. So if anyone knows of any place or hears of any place, even if it's not in Crawford, let me know. We can get with Stacy and we can try to get them to be able to have this. So I've been doing a little bit of research on signs in Crawford. This is the little card, which I need back, but kind of has a little bit of information if you want to write down the website so you can check it out. So in your ordinances for signs, there's a section that says there's a total exemption on the signs. And number C is memorial signs and tablets displayed on public or private property, which I think these signs would fall under. So there's really, in kind of reading the ordinance, there's not much that can be done to really stop this from happening, because it kind of says it in your ordinance. But we just would like to have the support. Would love to be able to show our veterans their support. And so that's kind of it.
So I wanted to clarify, that was one question that I had in, when we initially put this on, the agenda. You guys are hoping to affix the signs to the buildings, we don't need to, put
I was
those in.
kind of hoping that the businesses would put them on their buildings or whatever. Barb had said that, Doug Budd has already kind of had a spot that he wanted. So I don't know as if they are wanting to place them out on the street,
in the
but I just
posting.
think if it's on your private property, you know, there's not much that can really be done. But it's really no cost to anybody. The organization has all these signs made up and they just want to get them distributed.
That's great.
That's nice.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
So they can go on poles as well as on the building?
Yeah, they have, holes in them that are,
Oh,
so
okay.
that they can be mounted properly
Yeah,
and,
that's cool.
they're pretty heavy duty. So, like I said, that has the website, if you wanna check out anything on the website about what, the union, the national union is doing for the military and its members.
Any other questions or concerns? Do I have a motion to approve?
I agree.
Okay, sorry. Do I have a second?
Oh, Paige? Yes. Gaston? Yes. Dee?
Yes.
Thank you, Jess, for helping out.
Yep.
But,
And just let me
presenting
know
it.
if you decide if you wanna do some.
It might be worth us contacting the post office to see if we can do, it's got quite a line there, it would be neat to see it there, but that, I think we'd have to make arrangements, actually probably put a post in the ground and it being city supported, so we'll have to probably revisit that.
Yep, so just let me know, like I said, they have a bunch of them done up, so.
Awesome, appreciate it, thank you.
And I'll get a list of all the businesses and get it to you, of those that are wishing to participate, just so you kinda know who's part of it.
It's appreciated, thank you, Jess. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to number 8.8, discuss, approve, disapprove, reaffirming no overtime or comp time unless prior authorization has been given by the mayor.
So I think that, this is just for emergency purposes. Okay, and, what I would like to see, and we'll see if you ladies agree with me or not, but, I'm definitely not gonna insist on putting any more workload on our clerk. But if authorization is given by the mayor, the employee then needs to fill out a, report that comes to the council explaining what activity it was, that they needed the overtime for.
After the fact or before?
She'll give the approval.
No.
It'd be a log.
This is,
This has come up quite a few times in the, previously that we've went over and it
yes.
needs to be revisited.
So, the issue has become, each department is just kind of doing their own thing, and, we need to not be paying overtime or comp time. Comp time costs us just as much as overtime. So, I have no intention, I'll just say right now, I have no intention of signing for payroll for overtime if I don't have a good reason why it was needed. So, with that being said, if you don't have authorization, you're not gonna get paid more than 80 hours, or, 40 hours a week. You're just donating your time to the city otherwise, as far as I'm concerned.
So they're gonna bring a form to you, or they're gonna just verbally say, hey, whatever?
as long as arrangements have been made, and I will say that with the employees that we have at this time, I feel comfortable with the communication that we've had, that we have ongoing. I feel like they've done a great job as far as reaching out or being in contact. I don't see this as asking for too much. I don't see it something that they can't do very easily. But as long as I'm on board or I know what's going on, we can't make it happen fairly easily. I don't see it as a requirement of a form up front, but if you get a text message or something, or an email or something that is written approval of, hey, I've got this going on, are you good with it? And I say, yes, I approve that. If that equals an estimated overtime of 6 hours, whatever it may be, then they can use that and then go ahead and complete the form that Chris was referring to. And then submit that with their timesheets. And then I think that would be sufficient enough. I'm also comfortable with what I would have for the influx of calls or communication and what that would involve. That's something I'm comfortable with. And I don't think it's an extraordinary ask of our employees. But it might be the extra steps that helps us make sure that the overtime that we are experiencing is overtime that's required and not just something that's caught us by surprise, or, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this, I'm gonna need to make it overtime. But just to, as a city, doing our due diligence to make sure we're keeping track of all unnecessary expenditures, and that's what this comes down to.
And really, I mean, when I said emergency operations, I'm talking like snowplow,
Yeah, that's a given.
water main breaks, stuff like that.
And that's easy. I mean, we've had the communication, I'll just speak to say that the communication I've had with both my water department individuals, I don't see that as much of a problem. And again, it can be as easy as, hey, we've had this, we're already at, are you good? And I would be more than happy to respond, and I think that would be sufficient, at least to get it approved initially, and then we can complete why it was for council, after it was done, or back when we're on regular hours or whatnot.
Because right now, we're only seeing, okay, so-and-so had, I don't know, 85 hours. Why was there 5 hours of overtime on that check? So this is for council, so that we understand more of what's going on.
It's just a log. I mean, it's just a time log,
Ideally, yeah.
and the county's idea was everybody logs what they're doing. And the same, overtime's not, it's pre-approved, so it's not unusual. They can just attach it to the timesheets.
Is this gonna be a written policy that the employees will be able to see what the policy or be able to read it and refer to it, I guess?
We could certainly write it up to be that.
I suspect as you go through your personnel policy, there'll be something that'll be in there. It's fairly typical.
It just seems to be an ongoing problem. In Connie, you had the same issues when you were mayor, so, we need to just stop this. It can't keep going. Our finances are
And that's what it
just
comes
not
down
able
to.
to
In
support
order
it.
in order to guarantee our departments what they've signed up for, what they've budgeted for, we can't be wasting or overspending by any means in payroll, and then they end up not getting the supplies, the equipment, and the things that are necessary for us to make the demands of what we need to make for the city.
It's just simply reasonable management. And it wouldn't matter if your finances are good or not.
Sure.
It's reasonable management. That's not to say that you're not gonna have time, especially with you guys' job, that there's gonna be issues.
Yeah.
As long as our communications are good, this is reasonable. And the log will be easy. I mean, you guys log whatever you do anyway. So,
Any other questions or concerns?
So it will be written somewhere though for them to use, to look back at.
well, they can look at the minutes from tonight, that's written.
Is that
Well, no,
legally?
it's, if you guys approve it right now, that's legal.
That's what I'm asking, so.
But
Doesn't have to
they
be
are
an
working on,
employee handbook.
they are working on the employee handbook, which we can integrate that in.
That's
But
what I'm
by
asking.
but by you approving this tonight, you have approved this as a
Gotcha.
policy.
Okay. Just so it's somewhere.
If we had 800 employees, may be a problem.
Right.
But
We're
we
working
don't.
on that.
But we don't, so.
Well, it'll be all over town by 9 o'clock anyways.
As long as the department heads know what's going on, it shouldn't be a problem, because they're gonna be the ones that are saying, hey, I'm not on, but you need to, yeah, that's the coordination. And I would hope that with the mayor position, there's good coordination.
Right.
And it could be like, with Dennis in your, situation, you know, it could be just real simple. I'm not asking for an essay, but water main break at such and such place. You know, maybe even include the parts that you used, so that we kind of have an understanding of what's going on out there.
Go ahead.
Why don't you just make up a form for them to fill out after the fact, with a description of why they
I think
needed
that
it?
that's probably what we should do, have a form saying, or a log sheet, just be a log sheet, overtime log sheet.
Yeah.
You write the date, that's what we do everywhere else.
Mhm.
The date, here's what we did. It's not hard.
I'm just gonna modify our.
I have had to
sheet
do-
to have an overtime.
At another locale, I've had to deny overtime though, and it wasn't hard, because it was a lot, but they didn't get approval, it wasn't here. But, that was the policy.
So with that, I would make a motion if we're ready for that. Motion of no overtime or comp time allowed unless prior approval is given by the mayor for emergency purposes only, and each employee must submit a log sheet of reason why that overtime was necessary.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Dean,
Yes.
Paige, Justin.
Yes.
Number 9, discuss approve, disapprove snow route operations and designation of snow removal coordinator.
So I spoke with Tim, yesterday, and, you know, he's our street guy, right? So obviously he's in charge. That would, I would, like to see the council approve that Tim Schultz has full autonomy for snowplow operations. He can, make up the teams and the schedule as he sees fit, for each incident. And snowplowers are Tim, Kevin, Amanda, Dennis, and Edward.
I would add to that he needs to coordinate with the mayor, who does declare snow emergencies, if that's the case.
Sure. That and, for snowplow overtime, I don't care, I don't need to see a log of that, I know when it snows. I see them drive by my house, I'm not gonna require a log for that.
I think we should still have it, to be uniform
Mhm.
with everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
And it'll be an easy form. I'll help. I'll get it.
I already know what to do.
You work your 8, if you gotta go 10, you just write 2 extra hours pushing the white stuff. It's that easy.
Okay, that's fine too.
Then it treats everything the same, we're not all over the place.
Questions or concerns?
Do we expect any additional help with snow removal, you know, part-time guys or whatever that sometimes they can call in?
No, like I said, I talked with Tim yesterday, and he said that in the past, you've been kind of his day shift guy.
Yeah,
and-
I'm okay with doing day or even night if we have to, it's just, if I do come in the middle of the night, I might have to cut out for an hour to take my kid to school, but in the past, we have had some part-time people come in and help with snow removal here and there, and I wasn't sure if there's anybody even available for that, or anybody looking for that kind of stuff, or?
That isn't something we wrote into the budget this year, that was something that was kind of cut in addition to the summer seasonal that
Yeah, I was
we had
just
to cut
curious.
out, so. Not at this time, but that doesn't mean that if we don't run into a serious or large enough snow emergency, we won't request for maybe some temps or something and see what we can do to manage the situation, but at this time, I would say no.
Well, first I wanna ask about the snow route, like people are, did we have that discussion about not leaving cars on?
That's not a snow route, that was not.
Oh,
We did not snow route.
okay.
That was
So everybody knows to remove their cars when it snows.
We do have an official snow emergency ordinance that has existed for a while. And when we call a snow emergency, then we go over, this specific, I think there's 4 or 5 streets that are specific in the route. It's a route that is mainly Second and Main, around the clinic, and then up to the school is a lot of what the snow route consists of.
And Reed and,
There's
Okay.
a map.
But it's been a while around for a while, and then when we do announce that snow emergency, we try and make sure we post maps that go along with that. Now that we have the Facebook page, that'll be a great place to have that visual with the map and the reminder every time we go into a snow emergency, so. But that one's one that has existed for a little bit.
The first one, the first one will be bumpy, because it always is, and it gets better.
And there's multiple signs on all those streets that are.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
snow.
and they've been,
I just wondered how well people move their cars.
They don't, they get plowed in.
Well, there you go.
yeah, we don't tend to tow, we just keep them there, extended. Any other questions or concerns? Do I have a motion?
so the motion would be to put Tim Schultz as the coordinator. I still think that the mayor should declare the snow emergency, and
As a reminder to new council, not every snow is an emergency, but
It's gotta
every
be so
emergency
many
does
inches.
include snow.
Okay.
So, don't go each way.
I'm gonna pause the motion for a second. I do wanna say one more thing. Tim is in charge. Okay? No matter what your status as an employee is, when it comes to snowplow operations, Tim is in charge. And I'm not speaking to Dennis specifically here, but I expect all the employees that are involved with snowplow operations to put aside any issues and just get the job done. So with that, motion is Tim is our snow plow coordinator, and I guess I'll reiterate, so the employees are Tim, Dennis, Kevin, Edward, and Amanda.
And Tim will be in charge of teams and schedule.
Yes,
So is that your motion?
that's my motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, roll call.
Dean,
Yes.
Gaston,
Yes.
Page.
Yes.
Okay, number 10, discuss, we are here to discuss golf cart ordinance and trail.
Okay, I asked this to be put on the agenda because it keeps getting pushed back because other stuff keeps coming up and that's seemingly more important, so I'd like us to get this out of the way. So, like tonight, there's certain things that we need to still look into, and I'd like to do assignments. You know, hey, I'll look into whatever, such and such, so that we can get this hopefully on the next agenda and get the ball rolling. So with that, first we kind of need to discuss where the trail will be for the golf carts to get from town to the golf course.
They already do it now. They go through the
Well-
ballparks and then, I see it all the time.
Right,
But it's not within, that's just what it's become, but it's not they're not legal yet, so we wanna
Who's gonna
decide.
catch 'em? I mean, really,
We want to decide how it's dealt with, because no matter what ordinance you create, there will be people who decide that that ordinance does not apply to them. And that goes with every single ordinance that comes through the city.
And Twyla, to work with you guys, it is my intention, now I'm only one vote of, or 1/3 of one vote. So it's my intention that if we designate specifically this is where the golf carts can be coming across, if they deviate off of that, and if you're out there and you snap a picture of somebody on the trail down by the elevators, you bring that to us. My intention is to remove privileges to the entire golf course from that person for 365 days. Don't do it. We give you a trail, don't deviate. And I'm serious, if I even find out that they're in the clubhouse, nope, you're not allowed out here at all for 365 days.
I'm not sure we can legally do that, but I like your strength of your statement. If we pass an ordinance and people are following the ordinance, I don't know that we can penalize them for some knucklehead doing that down there. I hear what you're saying, but if you're gonna pass an ordinance to allow it,
In a specific area,
well,
yes.
if you're gonna pass an ordinance to allow golf carts and low-speed vehicles, you can't penalize somebody else for something somebody done there. You can take a picture of them, you can call the sheriff's office, you can do a lot of things, but that's not defensible. I appreciate your position.
So you're saying it's not defensible if it's a specific someone that has the privilege taken away? It wouldn't
No,
be
he's
everyone.
saying the whole golf course.
No. He's saying it's the individual
individual-
that broke the
oh,
rule would
actually,
have no access.
Here's the thing you can put into your
inside the
ordinance, you can put into your ordinance, we're gonna issue, I heard you.
Does that make sense?
We're gonna issue permits, okay? We could put something in the language that you would forfeit your permit for that year. See what I'm saying?
So they would have no street legal.
Because,
ability.
yeah, we'll just jerk their local permit, which we built into the ordinance. But we can put language in there to say if you are, and it could be any violation, you could be subject to revocation of that permit. So I thought you were talking about the whole, every golf cart in town.
No, specific
That
individuals
No.
that are caught driving on the trail in an unauthorized area. That's what I'm speaking.
But with a permit, we have the ability to build something that we could revoke it.
Okay. Whatever it takes.
so let me ask, how does that work? So somebody does, because I even saw a lady one time go the whole way from the ballpark to the city park in her golf cart, right? And looked right at me and waved. But anyway, I have no idea who it was. But, so that person gets her permit taken away. Who's gonna, does she have to go to court to get that taken away? I mean, how does that work?
Well, depends on where they're at. If they're driving around allowable areas, then why would we take the permit?
No, but if we do, like he said, they do something they're not supposed to, kind of legally, where does it
Well,
go?
the permit we're issuing is administrative, so we have the ability to administratively revoke.
So we would,
It's not, they could also, I suspect, be charged with trespassing or unauthorized use of a vehicle. There's all kinds of things that you could probably criminally charge them with. But administratively, we're issuing a permit, and if you don't have the permit, you're illegal, you can't drive. And actually, if you don't come get a permit from the city clerk, and you get stopped, you're gonna get a ticket.
well, there's our issue with the cops.
Well, they're gonna have to be clued in on this. And I can tell you that, and I'm also gonna tell you that this is gonna come up in a larger city to the east of here very soon. The same thing. And there is an enforcement issue. Anytime you pass a law, you gotta enforce the law.
Well, they have more cops.
You know, that being said, I know of 2 people that have been pulled over on Highway 20 driving their carts from here into town by the state patrol.
Yeah.
So, that's,
When we initially brought this up, and that's just to kind of, I guess, put you two in the loop as far as what we've previously discussed here, because this has come up multiple times that we've tried to make this happen. But we had brainstormed around the idea of coming up with similar to a park sticker, but you'd have a city sticker, and we'd put it, you know, it has to be somewhere visible on the card or whatever, on the back left-hand corner or whatever, so it's consistent and the cops know where to look for it, and it's easy to see. And every year you buy a new permit, and it would be stuck, and it'd be obvious that that vehicle is permitted. The permit has been paid.
and why you do this is because with that sticker, when they come in to get their sticker, they have to prove that they have a Class O license. They have to prove that they have the insurance. So that gives the law enforcement the ability to see that cart and see that sticker, so they're not pulling over everybody saying, let's see your license, let's see your insurance. If they don't have it,
That's what's
then
gonna be.
that's probable cause to stop them from running.
I think we originally kicked around ideas of anywhere from 50 to 150, depends, it would be an annual permit. That's not anything that's been set yet, but we would need to come up
In a
with,
resolution, we'll have to draft a resolution to set your fee.
yes, we'd have to come up with a monetary amount, and then it's
That's-
something that you'd renew every year, like you do your dog license or your cat
Part of the
license.
reason this hasn't happened as of yet, two things, in my mind. The administrative element of this. So we have all our ducks in a row, so the minute you do the third reading or one reading and skip three, pass this, because you're gonna have people the next day going to City Hall wanting their
Want to get
stickers.
stickers, and
We have to have the stickers, and a form to fill out, that's one thing. Two, when we were talking about this before, there was gonna be a dedicated trail from here over to First Street, where it crossed the whatever trail, and how it got through whether it went through the fire department, how it ever got there. I'm not sure that needs to be done, that needs to be decided, because the golf people talked about, so we can identify this is the trail. Here it is. If we have that, that might keep people from driving all the way down.
Well, they already have a trail, like, where they cross over, like, when I walk.
Yeah, so.
Right
They
here.
go across the ball
Yeah,
field
so
and
between
right
the
up
ball
on
field,
the-
yeah.
And then right up on hole 9.
Yeah, they cross.
that.
But what we
Trail.
want is to make sure it's defined, so people aren't,
Well, they got it.
you're always gonna have a knothead that wants to take it wherever.
Sure.
That's, but if we have a defined trail, it's very easy for you people, you get your sticker, and you throw your clubs on and you drive to the golf course. Here's your trail.
Do we need to include electric bikes? I've seen one on the trail.
As far as I know, Twyla, there's nothing against
There is
e-bikes
nothing
on the
against
trail.
the e-bikes, yeah.
No, e-bikes are still good.
They're still good.
Horses are still bad.
Yeah, we-
E-bikes are
Okay.
So the,
discrimination.
another thing that came up in the golf board meeting is maybe some way that, the attendant out here can issue a day pass. It was brought to my attention that maybe there's some tourists that may wanna drive their cart into town, whether to go get gas or maybe I don't know. Just an idea.
Would have never thought of that, but that is an interesting concept.
We can make this as complicated as we want.
I know the golf
I
board
mean,
is
we could,
excited about
we
this.
could also get like 10 hangers, and
Mhm.
somebody could rent the hanger for $10 and hang it on their rear view in their golf cart and take it to town, just like people do with handicap stickers.
Sure.
And then the golf,
I thought you were talking to clothes hanger.
no. And the golf could,
Okay.
here's $10, you can
Yeah.
rent this and bring it back, or it's gonna cost you more, I don't know. That's doable. I would prefer doing it that way than adding more to her
Right.
Right.
at City Hall if we have these. And we can do that by resolution that we'll approve.
It has to be too in front of the golf course, not going to the grocery store.
Well,
If we
Grocery store,
passed
you
it,
don't have
it
to
would
worry
be
about it.
citywide. It would be citywide.
it
if we
could
passed
be, it would be citywide. It's just,
So you
get a
could
day
take your
pass.
golf cart and take it down to the post office and mail it, park in one of these newly designated veteran stalls. That would be fixed up as long as you're a veteran.
The only thing that we would have to make sure out here is that they have their own license and they have insurance.
Yep. And that would be verified when they come to get that permit.
And I only bring this up because Darlene has been at the forefront of this ordinance since it came to our attention. She still would not be able to drive it to work at the convenience store because she can't.
Can't go
We're,
on the
we're not, you're not allowed to cross the highway with it.
Yes.
It's, even though McPherson is a city street, correct? They still can't cross
It's Highway 20.
Highway 20.
You can cross at a 90-degree angle. You can go straight across the highway.
Okay, so I stand corrected. She could drive it to work.
I'll double check on this. They did some changes since we talked about this at the state
Yeah, I
level.
would say it's been a while.
But we'll double check that, but it's always been 90 degrees or as close to there as possible. But we, like I said, the things we have to do, we have to make sure we're administratively ready to do this. And I think we better define our trail positively out here. The fee, we will approve by resolution, which is what the ordinance says. If you wanna have a day fee, you can put that in the resolution as well. Like I said, the biggest thing is to figure out what stickers, a sheet that you're gonna file with your check and what the amount's gonna be.
And I know at one time it was said that the men's league had spoke up and said that they would even be willing to figure out how to gravel and make a path to meet up to be just a T intersection at the ball field, so that way everything beyond the trail was, you know, regulated and kept track of by the golf course, and that it was something legit, so it would be very obvious what we want people to follow and not follow, and what they would want them to stay on
Yeah,
and not.
the de minimis is to get it across the White River Trail at a 90-degree and no more than that. And I think that's the discussion.
Yeah.
It's-
We discussed having it done right down here.
We can't have it along the highway. That's not an option.
Okay.
As long as the trail's marked. I'm not sure about the right of way out here. I don't know, I'd have to go look. That was discussed, I know it was discussed.
Yeah.
But I'll have to go look at that, I don't know. If you're in the right of way, you're just the same as being on the highway. That, I'm afraid about that.
You have to be behind the orange right-of-way markers.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that
mean,
would work. They could come down here and go,
It's the width of the full right of way, not just where the highway is. It's the markers, the concrete, they gotta be outside that.
And we discussed this, so our clubhouse is gonna change next year apparently. But maybe, she had mentioned that she actually doesn't want them coming this way because she can't see when they come onto the course.
Right.
But if they come from that way, she can see.
And that way they don't sneak in and not pay.
And not pay.
Because we've had people do that a lot.
Yes. And we don't want that.
Right.
Well, as I said, out of respect for White River Trail, wherever they cross needs to be as minimal as possible.
Correct.
And to me, that's a 90-degree cross. So we have however many feet that would be. Get some on it, across it, out.
Yep.
So then they're off.
It's already pretty much that way up the
You know, I've never.
trail. I've come across it several times and it's, you go across and then you go straight across, but it needs smoothed out, believe me.
Well, and I want it marked, so everybody, there's no question.
No question.
Where anybody's going.
So we
And
need,
I said a long time ago, I would buy the stop signs, they can put one on that side and one on this side, so they have to stop before they go across the trail and look so that they don't run into
That's
anybody.
a good idea as well.
And I told April a long time ago, I'd buy 2 stop signs, one for that side and one for this side if they needed them.
so we need signs. Stop.
And then you need to smooth it out and put gravel on it.
Well, so are you okay with where it is now, where they cut
no,
out?
no.
You're gonna
No,
have to,
because they come down here and across.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
we're not.
So that's gonna have to be all smoothed out, I don't know who does
We don't
that.
want it smoothed out, we want it maintained like it is.
Well, the city
No,
maintains
it
it
looks
from
like a
the
road.
park to the
Right.
highway.
Yeah,
And
right.
it's technically the city's land.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So
So-
somebody will have to.
And
do
all
it.
It is technically the city's
By
land,
deed.
and it is
The whole
maintained by the
one? I
city.
thought
So if
we
it needs
owned
to
it.
cross it and we still maintain
Where
it, then
they're
it's not an
crossing.
issue.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, you're just gonna have to smooth out one little spot, so when you go off the trail,
It
you're not
will,
going.
and it will continue to need to be
Yeah.
maintained.
Yeah,
Correct.
and then maintain it, put your gravel there, because then you're only crossing that 5 footer or 10 footer or however wide
Just a
it
T.
is.
Correct.
And that's it, you
Very
just
minimal,
go
yeah.
across there, and like I said, get the stop signs out so that people don't run,
I like that.
they look.
Right, right, because we don't want it to be not safe for anyone, correct?
So what I'm seeing here is we need 2 stop signs.
We'll need the stickers, the
We need-
registration forms.
We need, 2, wherever it crosses, we need 2 signs for each direction saying no carts beyond this point.
Sure, yeah, that would be.
And we need,
Stickers.
do we need signs for, designated golf cart path or
Well,
something like that?
as you get into this, you might put a sign where it jumps off the course path here or whatever. I mean, there may be some other signage. As time goes, it's gonna be a defined path, so there's not gonna be a whole lot of question.
And then probably between, as it enters the ball field area from the parking lot, we'll need to probably have more of a directional golf course ahead or golf course path or whatever it needs to be. But in addition to that, it will need to have, please make way or caution for pedestrians or pedestrians have the right of way. Because during the summer, it's very
We
busy.
probably
All
have,
of it.
we probably have until the spring to figure all that.
Right.
But if you're gonna pass this, again, this is a citywide ordinance, so you better have your administrative stuff done, so if people wanna drive around town,
Yes.
they're gonna do it legally.
And they'll need, they will be treated as vehicles, so someone is not welcome to come park on the sidewalk in front of City Hall at the front door. They will need to park in a parking stall in the street, just like any other
Mhm.
vehicle.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be on the sidewalk.
When they get their permit, you can have a piece of paper that designates all those little things on there,
Just as reminders, yeah.
you know, reminders, yeah.
Well, if it's if you have a class O, you're supposed to follow the rules of the road. You're
So
Yeah,
treated,
it's,
that's very
you're
you're
just,
treated just
we're-
like a car.
we're authorizing it to be used as another
So
alternative
you-
means of
You
vehicle
can have moving
transportation.
violations just like a car. You can get speeding with a new low-speed vehicle.
We do,
I never
we
heard
do
that.
probably have to indicate whether or not we want them to have lights and all that other stuff, because they don't need it, but
It says it in there.
we have it, okay. I couldn't remember if we went over
Pretty
that.
sure, it's been a while.
I know, yeah, it's, we haven't talked
So
about
what
it.
do we need to be prepared for? I wanna keep this on the agenda and keep talking about it each meeting until we get this ball ironed out.
I
So-
think you're gonna need by next meeting to know how long it will take to get stickers ordered. It might not take any time, it might take 6 weeks, who knows? When you know that and what you want, come with what you want, decide on that, then the next meeting, we can, the ordinance, you can decide on in one meeting if you choose.
Yeah.
Irene, how many stickers do you think that we'll need? Because we'll need to, have to be different colors or whatever for each year, right? So how many do you think we need to be
Right
looking
now,
for?
I know of 8 carts that are in town,
8?
that are in town, not out here. So if somebody wants to drive their cart in from here to get gas or something, they might wanna get a sticker too, so you might have more out there.
Well,
I
and
don't
we
know
do
how
have, we do have individuals in town that own golf carts
Yeah.
that don't golf and
Yeah.
have nothing to do with golf, but they still have carts.
Well, I counted your cart.
I know, I don't know why I have a cart, but I have a cart.
So they ever had a vehicle, that's why.
That's probably the qualifier.
How many?
I would start with like 50, because they shouldn't be that expensive, I wouldn't think, for a sticker.
Sure.
And then, you know, you can usually get a revolving order if you need it.
Right.
People prefer to drive their cart into town to get gas rather than just bring a can.
Well, yeah.
I never did, but most people do. Most people just go up and go to Jason's up there.
And you could take, again, so you go back to this day thing, you could take that sticker, put it on something for a
Make it
day,
temporary.
Yeah,
and
And
they
go
get
ahead
it,
and do
so
it.
bring it back.
yeah,
You just
put
use
like
the
5 or
sticker.
so out here, and
Yeah.
that way it covers
Make
anybody.
city
All
rental
pass.
stickers,
Yeah, and you could probably even have some downtown if you needed, just for temporary use.
essentially, yeah. That's all we're gonna do too.
Might be more people get golf carts just to drive around town, you
Yeah.
know, once we have this approved.
And I don't think $50 would be unreasonable to do it. Besides, that the city needs some extra money, so.
Well, there's gonna be some cost, and there's cost of
I
her,
know, I'm just saying that.
$50 a sticker.
and it's a January one to December 31st.
There you go.
At the end of the year, if you buy it in December, it expires December 31st. There's no proration. January 1, it's a whole new sticker.
Yeah.
It'll be busy after. A lot of people come into the office.
They probably won't, they'll come in as soon as they get.
So,
It'd be like
January.
something as simple
March,
as
when it
like
starts
some
warming
cities
up.
have like
We used to
a
live up in
bicycle
Custer,
license.
and if you drove your
Be
golf
something-
cart
There's,
We have that
there's,
also.
you can,
Yeah,
I mean, it won't be that
have
bad.
lights that order, all that kind of stuff.
Get them ordered.
Good.
But I want them here when,
Before we do it,
when
yeah.
the ordinance passes.
Then I'll go ahead and order 2 stop signs. You'll have to put the poles in, but I'll get the stops.
Very good. Thank
Well,
you.
you need to know where the trail goes before you get too carried away with the signs and all that stuff. And somebody, you know, somebody from the golf course, somebody from the Trails Association, somebody from the park probably needs to walk where this trail needs to be and how it crosses the White River Trail before we get too carried away with signs and whatnot.
We have reached out and tried to meet with everybody like that before, and we've not had any luck with the White River Trail trying to meet with us.
We have met with you. Yeah, we have. Every time you've asked.
Well, I think that's fair enough. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna, if there is a trail, I haven't walked it, I don't know where it's at, but if there is a trail, let's just go make sure we establish that this is the trail.
Sure.
Everybody's on the same page.
Right.
And then we can figure out, like I said, right now, do we need signs? I don't know how many people are gonna be cruising out here, but I'd probably be surprised. But,
Well, the weather starts getting nice in,
Oh, yeah.
you know, March or something.
well, yeah, once, even since it's closed, if we had a trail, people would be golfing. I mean, it's still golfable out there, but. So I think that that's a reasonable, you know, let's go out and make sure that the trails, everybody's on the same page where it's at. If it's defined, this is the defined trail.
Right, it needs to be defined where it's exactly going to be.
And then that would tell us, you know, if we have signs, because I'm good with the signs going across, the stop signs at the trail is a good idea. That way people gotta slow down anyway, whether they stop or not. But at least slows them down going over the trail, which will cause less damage to the trail.
Right.
Golf liaison, go look at the trail.
Because if it's not where it's currently at, there's gonna be some cost involved.
Right,
Gravel,
right.
grading.
Sure.
And we're not
Yeah,
in any position
I don't know
for
if
additional
anybody's
costs.
accounted for that in the budget, but there's gonna be some significant costs.
I think that was kind of the thought, is where it's at, is kind of where it's at. The golf people talked about maybe throwing some money at it, but who knows, from men's, this may be a men's league issue. And they may well do that, I don't know, I can't speak for them, I'm not a member of it, so.
Right, that's why we need to put our heads together.
Right, I don't wanna shoot from the hip. I want this done and I want it done properly.
But I would, most importantly, I would like to define where it goes across the trail. Because you guys don't care where they drive on this side of the trail or that side of the trail. Where it is across the
And
trail.
it's already there, so.
No,
Because-
it's not there.
No,
We can't
But
have
it's not
more
on
on
the
the
other
That's what I mean,
cost.
but that's what they,
Yes.
Well, it's smooth up to
But
the
it still
thing,
needs
it's
to be-
going on
Yeah.
this side where it's not smooth.
Right, and that does need to be built up so that we don't have spinning tires on the trail itself and cutting grooves and all that, yes.
And I know several people said they'd smooth that out, whether they still will after all said and done, who knows, but.
it'd be a simple flagging trail right now, just so everybody knows where it's at.
And I would like to also see the golf course put the fence back up. So we have, this is where you can come through, everything else, the fence needs to go back up.
Where against, or
No.
alongside the.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
spring,
it
I
needs to
think
go
we should-
back up.
Yeah.
That's more of a
And we
spring
will,
dressing.
we would help put that fence back up, the Trail Association.
And that's, I think in the spring, this is gonna become a bigger issue in the spring, more than likely. So we have to have all our ducks in a row. I could fly the trail right now, just so you know.
In the dark.
He just wants to go with the
I'm
fly
gonna
shot
get- I'm
again.
gonna go get my friend the We're gonna turn his in. So just, right now, I think all you need to do is work on getting your tags and stickers.
Probably during the baseball season, you would need some sort of a slow children, which I love that. Not children are slow, but slow down.
But they top out at 10, 15 miles an hour.
Depends on the age.
Oh, the new ones, right.
We'll have to adjust some things in places, we know this. We know that there's gonna be places we might need to slow people down, like the ball fields, at the trail.
They should have a sign there anyway for the swimming pool and the ball field right before they come into the community building. There should be a sign, caution,
You know,
Children at play.
children at play or.
I like that better than slow children.
Yeah.
so there's gonna be things in the spring I think we'll have to figure out, but this is a start.
Sure. While we're talking about golf, if anyone would like to purchase discounted alcohol, that cooler, you need to contact Blue. We need to get that stuff sold so that we can shut the cooler off.
It's right up your alley.
Yeah. So if anybody's interested, anybody watching online interested, contact Blue Bell.
Contact Blue Bell.
Get it bought, get it out of here. Thanks.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on.
You
11.
can't have it at your city council meeting, just sell it. Here. Have some alcohol.
Attendance would be,
Not without a bartender.
meetings would be more interesting.
Yeah.
Make some money.
You probably would have happier people.
11, we'll approve bills, claims, requisition orders, and transfers. Do I have a motion?
I motion that we approve the bills.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Kate? Yes. Steve?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion for adjournment?
It's your turn, Diane.
It's your turn.
Motion to
Oh,
adjourn.
I just want to do that.
Second?
I'll second.
Gaston?
Yes.
Paige?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
That bobcat.
Thank
Better
you.
not be out there.
The sacrificial lamb.
Walk out in pairs.
Yeah, really.
As a group.
Yeah. Must be loud.
You know, the back door. Looking in. Yeah, it really was.
Said walk out together.
We didn't call the meeting. We tried to get you guys to meet with us the last time. We tried to get you guys to
Yes.
It wasn't a city meeting. We were asking to do an outside meeting. Yeah. Get everybody to meet.
Okay.